Spark Books here. Today, I'm going to explain the book, Why Are We Yelling? By Buster Benson. Take care, enjoy the book, and have a nice day. In Why Are We Yelling? 2019, Buster Benson destigmatizes disagreement. Arguments aren't bad, says Benson, unless they're unproductive. What's more, learning to disagree well can help you strengthen your personal relationships, perform better professionally, and broaden your perspective on the world. Key idea number 1. Accept your fears. Twitter user @AlegKrautman posted a photo of bagels split vertically like a loaf of bread in March 2019. The internet exploded. "How dare you and who told you this was appropriate" were among the popular tweet's responses. This debate was lighthearted and low stakes. Why did something so simple spark so much debate? It caused worry, which can trigger or worsen dispute. When a valuable perspective conflicts with another, anxiety occurs. Low-stakes arguments like whether to slice a bagel vertically or horizontally cause tension. It's present in high-stakes disagreements, including whether to vote left or right. Anxiety is uncomfortable. When we feel angst, we tend to disregard or attack it. Many Twitter users did that when they saw the bagels. We shut down communication, understanding, and growth when we refuse to interact with things that provoke our anxiety. We avoid productive disagreement. There's another complication. Our anxiety has many causes. You and your opponent may have different worries during a disagreement. It's helpful to separate anxiety-inducing arguments into 3 kinds. Head worries involve information and logic. Heart anxieties are emotional. Hand anxieties center on usefulness. Imagine 12-year parents. Olds their babysitter cancels last minute, ruining their night out. They disagree over leaving their youngster at home. One partner feels frightened leaving their child home alone. This companion has cardiac worries. In their state, it's allowed to leave a 12-year-old home alone, says the other partner. This strategy exploits head fears. It can't settle a heart-wrenching quarrel. To disagree successfully, we must be conscious of our own anxiety triggers and try to comprehend others. Key idea number 2. Listen to your thoughts. Climate warming, immunization, gun control are polarizing subjects in 2019. Middle ground is scarce in public and private debates. Criminal dissonance. Cognitive dissonance happens when you face contradictory beliefs or behaviors. The more divergent the opposing viewpoint, the more your cognitive dissonance and anxiety. The voices in your head start talking to calm you down. There are 4 conflict voices. Consider the polarizing vaccination issue. Say you feel mandatory vaccinations are vital for public health. What happens when someone agrees that parents shouldn't be pushed to vaccinate? Diametrically opposing viewpoints induce cognitive dissonance and distress. Your thoughts could talk with power. This voice seeks to shut down the argument. It rejects other views. Powerful voices say, anti-vaxxers are wrong. Finn. Your opinions could be the voice of reason, which uses evidence and reason to win debates. The voice of reason says, show me the proof that immunizations are hazardous. No way. Or, you may adopt the voice of avoidance, which seeks to avoid the topic. Whatever, says this voice, I'll pass. 3 voices, they stop the argument from progressing. Fortunately, there's another voice, possibility. This speaker sees dispute as discourse. It seeks new viewpoints. It may question, why? Using the voice of possibility doesn't entail accepting your opponent's argument or changing your mind. This voice can foster dialogue and understanding. Learn your inner voices. When possibility speaks, listen. Key idea number 3, our biases vary. Own up. Imagine you're ordering gelato. Chocolate tastes better than pistachio. Yes. Were you predisposed towards pistachio gelato because you've never enjoyed it? Yes, but that's not horrible. Biases can help us conserve decision-making energy and manage excessive information. So instead of being immobilized by choice, you get a gelato you like. Biases can be harmful. 2 ways biases hinder productive disagreement. Daniel Kahneman calls our prejudices the availability heuristic. We only analyze immediate choices when making a decision. Our availability heuristics differ. A solution or technique that seems easy to you may be complex, unfavorable, or even harmful to someone else. Disputes might emerge when availability heuristics clash. Unbias? Insider bias. We tend to trust those in our group, whether they went to the same college as us or vote the same way. During a discussion, bias can be harmful. While we'll consider group members' arguments, we often ignore outsiders. This guarantees a fruitless argument and narrows your vision. In the correct situation, these mental shortcuts can save time and mental energy. Sometimes they fill in mental spaces in sloppy, ill-considered ways, rather than encouraging us to examine alternatives. When we're entrenched in one perspective, productive conflicts are difficult. Cognitive bias is difficult to control because it's automatic. To have productive disagreements, Admit your biases. Unchecked biases can prohibit you from connecting with alternative perspectives. Check your biases. Try to understand others' thought processes and avoid dismissing voices from other groups. Key idea number 4. Don't speculate about others' perspectives. Play to your strengths is a common career advice. Same goes for disagreements. We're good at arguing because we understand our own perspective. Weakness, speculating about our opponent's perspective. We oversimplify or vilify our opponent's arguments when trying to understand them. Let's use a hypothetical situation to illustrate. Bob and Sophia had a 2016 election quarrel. It was one of the most acrimonious and tightly won elections in US history, but many eligible voters didn't vote. Sophia was furious when she learned Bob was one of them. She knew why she voted. She firmly supported one candidate and disliked the others. She understood why Bob hadn't voted. He was selfish, apathetic, and unwilling to do his democratic responsibility. Over time, Sophia's thoughts turned to possibilities. She admired Bob's smarts. She'd never considered him selfish before. Did she miss his motivation? Bob told her. Bob disagreed with Sophia on the candidate's qualifications. He couldn't vote for someone he didn't think would do well, so he abstained. His non-vote was a protest. Sophia opposes Bob's decision. By listening to the voice of possibility and reaching out, she now realizes his motivations and reasoning were complex. Their bond remains strong. Lesson: vote. Invite others to do likewise. You may not agree, but you'll see their point. Key idea number 5. Questions resolve conflicts. Battleship? You and your mate grid toy battleships. No one can see one another's grids. The goal is to ask questions that disclose your partner's ships. How do you handle enemy ships? Sink them. Questions are key to productive arguments. They're argument busters. They can reveal fears, extend knowledge, motivate empathy, and lead to answers. We use questions poorly when we disagree. We ask closed-ended questions to end discussions, or we ask questions to validate our own perspective, not the other person's. Arguments employ questions like battleship. To debunk, victory. 20 questions is another popular questioning game. Partner thinks of a person, animal, or item. Your goal is to determine their thoughts in 20 questions or less. 20 queries encourages open-ended, creative questions. It discourages asking questions with a specific response. In a quarrel, battleship questions stifle conversation. When we use 20 questions, we loosen control and allow for unexpected connections. Imagine you're a skeptic, yet your friend believes in ghosts. What evidence do you have that ghosts exist? Or, you could inquire, what experiences led to this belief? Sometimes disagreements can strengthen friendships. Imagine a friend you always argue with about movies. It's great to quarrel at the movies. Political conflicts can be the basis of a friendship. How to have a pleasant argument. Questioning correctly. Key idea number 6. Choose a strong partner for a constructive debate. Win a debate? Using nitpicking, it's easy. Find the opposite team member with the stupidest arguments and demolish them. Done. When you win an argument this way, you lose personal progress and social connections. Nitpicking wastes the chance for productive disagreement. To have a productive disagreement, try a new approach. Avoid low-hanging discussion partners. Instead, speak with the wisest, most credible person who disagrees with you. High-level debate may test your argument in unexpected ways. Your perception may change. These problems may strengthen your argument. Your horizons have expanded. Best of all, this degree of debate can reveal flaws in your logic. The Monkey's Paw by W. W. Jacobs highlights the importance of avoiding logic gaps. A couple is gifted a mystical monkey's paw that grants wishes. Why? It always finds a loophole to give the wish differently. The couple ignores the warning, hoping to pay off their obligations. Their kid is murdered in a job accident the next day. They receive an amount equal to their debts as compensation. Choose a debate partner who can identify your blind spots and logical faults. It's simpler to win against someone with dumb arguments, but you'll gain more by choosing wisely. Key idea number 7. Neutral settings improve arguments. Consider your last argument. Instead of the disagreement subject, focus on the location. Where was it? Where? Or offline? Feel safe expressing yourself? Do others feel safe expressing themselves? Disagreements aren't isolated. Our argument settings can affect their results. Consider a classroom discussion. In person, all discussion participants follow classroom norms, and a teacher arbitrates and adjudicates debate. Now consider social media. No one has more power than another. No rules regulate behavior, therefore it's more anarchic. Context affects our arguments. How would you construct an effective conversation space? Neutral spaces are best for arguments in the classroom, online, and elsewhere. Physical or mental space. Different viewpoints are accepted. Everyone should feel comfortable discussing their ideas and giving feedback in a neutral setting. Open dialogue should allow people to acknowledge their fears and biases. Even if their beliefs are contentious, no one should be dismissed from the organization. Censorship is an ineffective short-term remedy to radical disagreement. No one should be compelled to leave the place, but participants can join and depart as they like without explanation. The space should be flexible and evolve with its users. In a physical area, participants may arrange furniture to encourage dialogue. In a digital context, this may involve using emojis and internet speak. Online or offline, the venue should adapt to participants' needs. Unproductive conflicts can happen anywhere, while productive disagreements thrive in a neutral space. You must create neutral areas for productive disagreement if you value it. Key idea number 8, ignoring ideas doesn't make them disappear. It's simple to have a productive dispute over something like dinner plans. Political disagreements are harder but more rewarding. Productive disagreement might include engaging with repulsive ideas and perspectives on hot-button issues like euthanasia and gun control. How do we encounter hazardous or repulsive ideas productively? When we encounter a repulsive concept, we shun it. We won't argue. Giving these ideas airtime is irresponsible. We'd rather ignore these people. Ignoring ideas doesn't work, and silencing extremists just radicalizes them further. What's next? We must learn to include harmful ideas without embracing them. Engage with your head, heart, and hands. When you evaluate an objectionable notion rationally, you should understand its logic, even if you disagree with it. To fully understand your opponent's thinking, understand their perspective instead than speculating. When you consider an objectionable notion emotionally, you're seeking to find its source of worry. Questioning is your best tool. Ask open-ended inquiries to find the argument's emotional essence. Consider an offensive concept with your hands or your sense of utility to see how it can benefit you. You can argue against this viewpoint by engaging with it. Knowing how this theory operates on its supporters may help you comprehend its attractiveness. Unproductive disagreement threatens our society. Our standoff on matters like gun control and climate warming might be devastating. Argumentative persons are needed. Get to work. We've been conditioned to avoid arguments. Healthy communication requires productive disputes. We must refocus our debates on connection, growth, and understanding. Everyone wins when we disagree productively. To view more content like this, subscribe. Don't forget to like and turn on notifications. The channel really benefits from it. I appreciate you being here.